Welcome to News Booze.
And what we choose with Dami and Danielle.
Hello, hello. So, cheers. And what are you drinking?
I am drinking Highway 12, 2021 Cab Sauv.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I hadn't either. It's actually pretty good though. I recommend. How
Interesting.
about you?
I too am drinking a Cab Sauv, if you will.
Ah,
Uh, I hate that they blocked it. Oh, Firefly Ridge. I
uh-huh.
was gonna go with a nicer one, but this one actually tastes really good and it's cheap. So I got it. And actually, this one has the notes. So it is rich and vibrant.
hmm
Aroma is cassis and black currant. Flavor, black cherry and cedar. I actually do taste the black cherry. I kid you not. I'm like, this has like a cherry in it. And then medium body.
I think you have a good nose and palate. You do.
I know. Thankfully, COVID days didn't take that away like it took a lot of people,
Oh, I
their
know.
sense of smell and taste. Uh, all right. Well, I guess we can just jump into the shit show, which is what's going on in our lives.
Yeah.
Um, so first and foremost, full transparency, we're actually recording a little later than we normally do. So I kind of have to catch up because I just poured a glass and it's like 9:30. Um,
Is that your first class?
yeah, it's because
Oh.
I was like, we'll see if you're able to hop on. But yeah, full behind the scenes transparency there. But no, so I'm gonna catch up. So you'll see me take lots of sips. But
I only have
this
one
week,
glass, so I'm not too
oh,
concerned.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Tommy had dinner plans this evening, but this weekend I have surprisingly a lot of plans. Normally I don't. Normally I'd be like one day we do this and then I have like normal things with the kids. But this is a lot of centric around me. So tomorrow I have a girls' night out with my cousin, and my other cousin is thankfully so kind as to come over and hang out with them and roll them up as burritos and flip them around and all the things. So the boys are gonna love that. They love their cousin Justin.
hmm
But then me and Shree are gonna go out and go to a vegan sushi place
Oh, cute. Oh
in
my God.
Midtown.
hmm
Yeah, it's called Village of OM, Om.
I get
I
it. I
know,
get
you know what I'm saying, like,
it.
um,
Oh.
but I will definitely report back because everything looks so pretty. Like everything looks so pretty that they post. So I know the food's gonna look great and the cocktails are gonna be nice. And I never drink cocktails, so I will have one.
Heck yeah.
Um, I am a wine gal, but then Sunday gonna go to visit our friend Lo and see her baby bump and also catch up with an old friend too, Adriana, and then gallivant around either Campbell or Los Gatos. I'm leaning a little bit more towards Los Gatos because then we
So
can go to
you
the
have
park.
double girls' night or girls' day. That's
Well,
so cute. I love this for you. Well, with the
Sunday's
boys too.
day. Yeah, Sunday's day and the boys are coming, so
Mhm.
we'll make sure to do either walking trail or a park or both and go out to lunch and do the fun stuff. I was gonna say let's go to Santa Cruz, but then apparently it's gonna rain, so eh.
Yeah.
Um, but we are driving pretty far, so I guess it's probably better not to have to add the extra hour. But
hmm
yeah, those are
Cute.
my plans.
I love
What
it.
are you up to? Or what have you been
Um,
up to actually?
I'll say what I've been up to. So I got this wine bottle in Sonoma because I was very, very fortunate to be invited to an offsite for my team. And I try not to talk about work too much, but what I will say is that it was really, really great, really authentic connections and just got us to like open up and create this level of trust. So I'm very excited for the team. There were tears from
Like people
me, like, and
making
other people.
oh,
Yeah, there was a lot of vulnerability. So, yeah, if you're listening out there and you have a team of professionals and you're not gelling well, like I highly recommend you don't have to go to Sonoma, but there are some great exercises out there that just like bring people together because trust is for sure the foundation of everything.
can you elaborate a little bit more on what you guys did? Did you do like trust falls? Did you do circles of like tambourines and like outdoor? Did you do wine tasting? Like what do you do?
It can be as simple as someone setting the intention that you're going to be vulnerable and maybe you're talking about just in general like it's okay to fail. Like I think that just in itself is like a profound thing to tell your team and then mean it. You have to mean it too.
Mhm.
And then it was followed up by some vulnerability. and then, of times that someone failed. And then there were like other exercises that we did where we were asking questions. There's like level of like deepness of
Was
questions,
it
like
like indoor or outdoor activity?
both. We even did like
Okay.
walking chats, which I also really love and would love to bring that into like just more of my everyday life. And then on top of that, it was in a freaking beautiful Sonoma. So yeah, I'm a happy girl. I came home very happy and just grabbed the
Good.
boys and yeah, reset.
Well, that's the only thing is like I've only done the one getaway
Mhm.
without the boys, and it is kind of nuts when you're only gone for how long were you gone for?
It was like 4 days, 4 nights, I guess.
Yeah, so I think mine was 3 nights, and I remember coming back being like, "Oh my God, I must have missed so much." It's like they're normal things, they're normal naps, they're normal schedule.
Yeah.
Well, that's good, and I think that it's good that you got away too. Not only just because it is good for you to get away in general, just to have your time, but it sounds like you had a lot of productivity in your team, so that's really
Yeah,
good.
definitely. Yeah, shout out to my mom and Charlie. Thank you, guys.
Oh yeah. So he had a solo parent it up, but then
Yeah,
your
my
mom came
mom.
in.
Yeah. Yeah, they did great. I was listening on the baby monitor, like watching them in the morning just to like see them and it just cute. Cute all around.
When I was gone, I forgot to tell my stepmom who was watching the boys that weekend that I was gone, that I have a front door camera for the dogs, but it's also for like the front door too.
Hmm.
Um, and I was like, oh yeah, I kept seeing it going off, so I finally just turned it, like I knew that the boys were awake at this time, so I opened it up and saw, them walking across, and she's like, you have a camera? I'm like, I wasn't looking in. I just saw him like once or twice, and that's it.
It's fine.
I know. So I was like, I know that sounds bad. I should have told you. I just forgot.
Cute.
Eh. Anywho, so let's jump into the actual news, which is
Mhm.
also simultaneously also the shit show that is
Yes.
America.
Mhm.
Um, so I know that you were on a work retreat. So shockingly enough, you have not heard about the War Plan group chat mishap.
Oh wait, okay, yes, I did. Okay, this is
Okay.
the text message, right?
Yes.
Was it on purpose or was it really an accident?
Well, I love the fact that all of the memes coming out of it for the entertainment portion of it all is Elon going, they have a group chat without me. Oh, it's
Makes me
so
think of the
funny.
Kardashians. Have you seen that episode where probably not, you don't watch it, but they're like there's a group chat without Courtney.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Yeah. It reminds me of that.
Would like, do you and your siblings have a group chat? Do you
So
guys?
the first thing I wanted to do, and I definitely like in between this week of that happening, I wanted to like go and research, like, okay, why? Why did they want to do this? Why did they want to drop bombs on, who was it? Yemen? Did I
Um,
just make that up? I'm sorry.
Yemen. No, it's
It was
Yemen. So
Yemen. Oh my
Trump
God.
downplays Yemen war plans group chat fiasco, and he
Of
just
course,
said it can happen. Well, maybe y'all shouldn't have a group chat when it's supposed to be a secret government situation, you moron.
Yeah. Like
He
it.
said, well,
Mhm.
he claims allegedly there was no classified information as I understand it. And then he later says, oh, it was said to say they used an app, if you want to call it an app, that a lot of people use, a lot of people in government use, a lot of people in the media use. So you mean WhatsApp? I'm just gonna guess because I feel like a lot of people, like
Mhm.
a lot of people in government use, a lot of people in the media use, a lot of people use. It has to be like if it's a group chat like that, it has to be WhatsApp or
Yeah.
Slack. I'm not
Mostly.
seeing the
Yeah.
president understanding how to use Slack. So
I'm not, I can't see the president understanding anything.
obviously, you're group
So it
chatting
must be
about
for,
war plans.
I'm gonna assume resources, right? Because that's like what everything is like, seems to be about, is stealing resources. But I don't know. Like, do you know why? That's like a way deeper dive of like,
No, he's a fucking moron. So
yes,
he's straight up. So it says Goldberg, the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic, wrote in a piece published on Monday that he was added to a group chat in the commercially available Signal app. There it is, Signal,
Mm,
in which officials, including Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth and Waltz, were discussing impending strikes of Houthi militants in Yemen. Goldberg
okay.
said he was apparently added to the chat by Waltz. The story is in the Atlantic only described the operational part of the message chain, but did not divulge any specifics. And then Trump was asked later if there is a fire, if this would result in, a firestorm and people would be fired within. And he goes, we pretty much looked into it. It's pretty simple, to be honest. It's just something that can happen. It can happen. End quote.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Are you
It's
fucking kidding me? You know
abs-
goddamn well if
Mhm.
Hillary Clinton or
Oh
Kamala
yeah.
Harris, if they pulled this shit, they would be, what is that? Deposed? Not deposed. No, that's
Uh,
in court.
Impeached?
Thank you. They
Mhm.
would be out of there so quick if they did
Totally.
half the shit he's done in the last 5 weeks,
Hmm. Oh my
six
God, yeah.
weeks.
Absolutely.
They
No.
would be like, oh, she must be PMSing if she's doing all this crazy shit
I
like
wonder,
that.
I'm like, is there any, like, we're gonna see if there's any like legal holding that they can keep him to like try and get him impeached. So yeah, I saw that like everyone was pissed, obviously for obvious reasons. So maybe there's something there. We can only hope.
I
No.
honestly feel like everyone is like, people are just funding this crazy
Mhm.
clown machine of circus that we call our government. And
Yeah.
I feel like honestly, there's so many people in his back pocket that I don't think anything's going to happen. Unfortunately, we're going to have to literally wait out this shitstorm for the
Hmm.
next 3.5 years. It hasn't even been a half a year yet.
No.
3 years and two-thirds of another
I
year.
I don't know how this ends for us, girl. I don't know.
Not good.
It's not ending good. We have a president who seems to be in bed with Russia, right? Like he's trying to dismantle this whole system that we have been so lucky to enjoy
But
for
like,
hundreds of years. Yeah.
I just want to know, how
Hmm.
is he able to get away with this? Because like I said again, if it was anybody else, no, absolutely not.
It's all of those things that like we've been talking about. Like it's like the whole conversation on like him kind of dismantling like how he's dismantling democracy of like keeping Republicans scared, scaring the big law firms. Republicans aren't in power, so there's not like a whole lot they can do. Then you're deporting people who are saying things bad against you. He's like setting
And
all of
making up lies like, oh, well, they're the ones making up war crimes and like war
yeah.
plans behind the scenes.
Oh, and then I mean, and I keep thinking about this every episode that we've done, which really cool that we have multiple episodes now, by the way.
I
But
know this is our
I
this
don't
happy
know.
happy fifth.
Yeah, happy birthday. But I keep thinking about how we are not mentioning our elders and the scary bit for them of like potentially having their social security, which is also shitty for us, but social security may be stripped. That's something that he seems to want to do and is like, I'm not gonna do it, I'm not gonna do it. But then you're watching as everything is defunded and you're like, you know that shit's gonna happen. So
Well, and you
yeah.
know that this is terrifying the elder community and the people who are, taking in the Social Security. This is stressing them out.
Yeah.
I firmly believe the stress of this all can do impending damage onto their health, potentially giving them freaking heart palpitations, so such high stress levels that could lead to actual death. Like, I don't doubt that for a second here.
Their livelihood, they're like depending on these this is money that they have put into a system and you
Exactly.
cannot take that away. I think,
Homeboy's trying.
my mom was joking. She was like, "Listen, I protested all of the other shit. Like it's your guys' turn." But I think that if they take their social security, it's gonna be all of us. Like 0 to 100, everyone's gonna be up in
Well, think
arms.
about it. Forever since we got our first job, obviously, if it's not like under the
Hey,
table situation, we've all been paying into our Social Security.
yeah.
So you're going to try to tell every single person,
I mean, give it
oh,
back.
by the way. By the way, all that money you've been putting into that, okay, it goes poof. It goes actually into the
No,
pockets of all these billionaires that already have money.
it doesn't go poof. You go poof. I'm fighting. No, you cannot take like we're
That
all
should be our slogan. It doesn't go poof. You go
it doesn't
poof.
go poof.
That'll be our sign when we do protest. It
I'm
doesn't
so
go
glad that
poof.
we can
You
find
go
like
poof.
the silver lining and all of these things. Oh God. Tell me about Trump cutting Planned Parenthood funds.
Well, that was just kind of the have it like again, why are
Mhm.
these things on the top of his agenda?
Mhm.
So let me go to that, but because I had to click open to the other thing. But yeah, I saw this earlier in the week, probably I want to say midweek, and of course, Forbes. So basically the funding is expected to be put on hold. So it's actually in effect. It's not even like a talk. So he's freezing up to $20 million in funding for Planned Parenthood, among other organizations, for any type of family planning grants that exist in aside from Planned Parenthood as well.
Mhm.
But it's basically also ties apparently with the federal firings and all of that because um, it says that they're in compliance with President Donald Trump's directive for all federal contractors to root out all diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. So he's basically trying to just take everything away from everybody. It's like, but where's this money going to go to, Russia? Like, where's this money going to go to? Why are you trying to take all
Him
this
and
away?
his
I just,
cronies.
but
Yeah.
like, did you see the thing also about how um, they're going to try to make it exceptionally hard for people to go anywhere out of the country, that they don't want people to go leave the country, basically, is what his like end goal is. And it's all about America. And the same thing happened was even today, Trump signs a executive order directing federal agencies and the Smithsonian to remove any divisive or anti-American content. So it's only American content featured.
Oh,
What is his deal, dude?
I
Like, I
mean,
know this is the United States of America, but you don't want us to leave. But you also don't want us to be cultured about anything outside of America.
yeah, he's a bad boyfriend. He's the he's
He's
an
he's an
abusive boy.
abusive ass boyfriend.
Yeah. He literally
You're not
lies.
wrong.
He gaslights you. He moves you away.
He lies to you and tries to say, "No, I'm gonna change. I'm gonna change. I'm gonna make your eggs cheaper and your gas cheaper. Oh, I'm gonna totally change. I promise, sweetie, baby, honey, take me back." And then stupid idiots that follow his stupid cult, they vote him in. And oh, honey, how's that gas price? How's those eggs?
He literally wants us to be barefoot and pregnant in a kitchen. And it's because he believes that we belong there, but
Hmm.
also I think, to him, there is no middle class, there's no like there's not a poor population. We're all poor to him, and it's just we're more slaves for him basically. It's just more people to make him money. Does that make sense? Like he's
That
just
makes absolute sense.
he's like, great, yeah, produce more people so that you can all work for me. It's he's a sociopath, like an actual sociopath.
No, he gets off on this. And it literally, I saw this today and it said the United States is the only place on earth where poor people shun labor unions, free healthcare, and free education because rich people tell them to.
Yeah. Yes. The fear of being wrong is just us out like it's gotten us to here. Like the fear of these like supporters that they were wrong is crazy. So there's like been a ton of I've seen a couple like interviews even just this week on like people who were fired from their government jobs who were Trump supporters and they're super embarrassed by it. I'm so thankful that they're coming out and saying that. I'm sure
Oh,
that
thank
the
God. Like I was gonna say, is it like the guy who was fine with his wife or girlfriend being deported? Oh, I'd still vote for him.
no, that one, yeah, he's not gonna eat crow yet. But it's like good for you for saying it, admitting it. All of us want to be like, you fucking yeah. I don't and that's hard too, because I don't think that anyone deserves that. That is so hard. That makes your life incredibly difficult to not have a job, to provide for yourself or your family, to not know where your next paycheck is coming from. Nobody deserves that. That's what
Well,
we've been trying to say is we all deserve free healthcare. We all deserve to make, some money where you can actually save it and know that like when you retire, you're gonna have a place to lay your head.
well, and it's like, why are you trying to just stress out America to the point where like literally they're gonna have shortened lifespan because of the stress they endure during this entire like 3.75 year mockery of whatever this shit is.
Yeah. Yeah. No, totally.
Well, and that one thing, it kind of, you just talked about it, the federal, but earlier or 4 days ago, Trump administration asked Supreme Court to block order reinstating federal employees. Like, bro, you need to stop. And like, again, you're putting your things in these weird order of importance when it should not be this order. It shouldn't be, these are the things you're trying to wreck or dismantle or break down or cancel the funding of, or, whatever it may be. Again, what is your deal, dude? Like, why is this the shit you're focusing on
He's not going to stop. Next week we're going to have a whole another slew of shockers
every
that
week?
yeah,
Every week.
every week. It used to just not be like that, and it's a lot.
No.
It's a lot. As a human, we are not meant to deal with this like level of uncertainty, and yeah, I mean, everyone is well aware now. Like, hey, we're going into a recession. Hey, like there aren't as many
Oh, and
jobs.
people are in still denial of that.
You
No, we're
can't
not.
stock
No, we're
market.
not. Trump told us we're not going to be.
If
We're
you're
not
lucky
going to
enough
go
to
in
have a
a recession.
401k, like, and you're watching that shit, like you know.
Shit, I haven't looked at mine.
Well, don't. It's okay. I feel like 401ks do kind of come back. So you just leave it there and let's pray that, that
I
it'll be there
didn't even
later.
think to look at that because I just was like, well, nothing else is
You might
getting
want to like
cheaper.
just diversify a little bit more. You can like talk to like a representative like your 401k and see if like you can diversify a little bit more. I need to too. Oh,
Okay.
by the way, taxes
That's,
are coming up, everyone.
I already filed mine.
Oh, good. This seems like such good timing.
Oh my God. Well, everyone's like holding out for a hope because wasn't that was also something he said in the beginning during he wants to get rid of the IRS. You guys,
Oh,
you guys, did you really think he was going to try to do that? Did you really think he was going to try to do that, honey baby sweetie? While I pat you on the head, you moron.
yeah, that's cute.
Like, no, that was something he said early on, and people that did vote for him that I follow, thankfully, they aren't like the ones that are annoying I have to mute.
Yeah.
But they talked about that, like, oh, like, I'm waiting until April to see if the IRS gets, shut down. And I'm like,
Good luck.
sweeties, are you serious? He doesn't care about you.
Give a shit.
Not one shit. Well, and speaking of someone with a small penis,
Hmm.
have you have you ever gone a day where you're just like, you know what? I think I've learned a lot. There's just like not really a lot of these like weird things that I need to learn about that, I've heard them all. Oh no, no, no. Oh no, no. Earlier this week I was listening to The Toast. Um, and this person wrote in saying that her husband has small penis humiliation fetish, where it's a fetish, it's a kink, where he wants her to tell him how small his dick is. Like she wrote it in and literally said, tell me, and I'm going to drop the link to the actual, like, write in the full thing that was written into the show. He was in this bathroom. He looked over his shoulder while she was like somewhere in the bedroom going, tell me how small it is. And she has to like demean him. She has to be like, it's so tiny. Oh my God, I won't be able to feel it. Like, and apparently this gets people off. And then
Uh,
she said, and then they even to the point whipped out because she mentions how big it is. And then
mhm.
she whips out a tape measure and she's like, I feel like they're smaller though. Because she was saying how it's like 2 inches flaccid, but I'm like, okay. But then hard, she's like, it's like 4 inches. I'm like, but there's the thing called micro penis. Like we we've literally learned about this where it's like a baby carrot.
I'm curious. Is she into it?
No, she just goes along with it because that's like her husband's kink. And I feel like sometimes you just like kind of go with the person. Like the kink is like they want, to be,
Hmm.
there's people that
Whatever.
go to dominatrix that want to be humiliated.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen like some of that in maybe like some show I was watching, like a
Yeah.
funny dominatrix show. I don't remember what it was called, but that was a long time ago. But I'm not surprised. I feel like everything is a fetish. Um,
Everything. I remember, do you remember the show Real Sex
Maybe yes.
on
Yes.
HBO?
Mhm. Yeah.
Like we were definitely not the age where we should have watched it, but we all did. There was an episode where a guy had a fetish with a girl stepping on grapes. He would go underneath a glass table and she would just be stepping on grapes and he would like literally
No,
jizz his pants.
I do not remember the show. Wait,
He would
I looked
just like
it up. This is
fully finish to her stepping on grapes.
oh,
Not
the
his grapes, her like just normal grapes.
great. Okay. I mean, to each their own, but um it's not for me.
Small penis simulation. I'm sorry. Okay, I've been out of the dating world for quite some time. But if I was starting to date someone and out of
Mhm.
nowhere they're like, tell me how small it is, I'll be like, but it's not small. Just tell me it is. I'll be like,
No,
what the fuck?
no, you're gonna wear my skin. That's my like my head goes, and I'm gonna pray for you, and you're gonna wear my skin, and I gotta go.
I'm literally hearing the song Goodbye Horses like playing right now above like a well, like put the lotion on its skin. Like, oh my God.
No, thank you. Goodbye. Sorry.
Anywho, you learn something new every day because I was literally like, what the fuck? Um,
Keeping
and
it spicy.
then did you hear about the DNA issues before we jump into the next thing is going to be the what we
Oh,
watch, but did you hear about the DNA issues going on? It's not only the 23andMe going bankrupt where everyone's going to like delete your, did you not hear about that? You have to
I
delete.
did. So that's the one I thought you were bringing up. You're gonna tell me
Oh,
something I have no idea about, but I can't wait.
oh, but it still has to do with DNA. So the LA County, well, first and foremost, if you have 23andMe or you ever used it, I mean, delete your data. But apparently there's issues where people can't even get back into their accounts to delete their data. So it's too late for them.
Oh no, I haven't logged in because I've been gone all week. They're right.
Yeah, log in ASAP because they're literally, why can't I love when I go to click things that it won't work. Yeah, so they're trying to say like basically I thought honestly this earlier this year, all of our social security numbers got like everybody's social security numbers got released. So aren't we already screwed? Like what can they do? Okay, I guess they can technically clone you, but who out there is like in one of those black like dungeness laboratories like in a freaking action movie style where they're literally like taking the DNA stolen from the 23andMe samples and making another human. Like, are they really doing that?
No, I think they're like worried about the data, like that they could sell it in terms of like they know I'm Mexican or something. And I actually don't know for sure, but like they're thinking like that kind of data, or maybe use it against you, or
Okay,
like
that's
there's,
a little less scary. I was like, they're gonna clone your
yeah,
ass.
I'm trying to think like what else could they, I don't know off the top of my head. Sometimes I do kind of like go back and forth on like, do I care enough? Do I not
Well, that's
care?
what I'm saying. They already released all of by accident or something, or a hack happened where they already released all of our social security numbers. Like, we kind of already are fucked, aren't we?
You know what really sucks about that too is that like if somebody does steal your identity and they rack up like a slew of charges, it's really incredibly hard
Mm.
for you to prove that sometimes, and sometimes you are liable for it and they really like screw you over. It's in it that stealing your identity is one thing. Stealing your the data that's on 23andMe, I haven't dove into that. That probably gives a lot of people the heebie-jeebies. To me, I'm kind of on the fence right now. I'm gonna go do it just to be safe, but
If you can get in.
yeah, if I can get in. But yeah, I don't know. I think I think I just don't want anyone stealing my actual identity because that sounds like a freaking bitch. And changing all your credit cards and doing,
And
the whole
also having to prove it. Like, no, I
and
swear that
having
wasn't
to prove
me.
it. And they don't make it easy. It's not like like you have to physically go down and probably it's your job to fix it. It's not the credit card's job to fix it. It's one of those things. So it sounds delightful.
Well, good luck to y'all.
Delightful. Yeah.
Anyhow,
Mm.
um, in a connection with DNA, so yeah, the thing that I put on our notes was that LA County has been using potentially faulty DNA tests
Oh
for
no.
months.
What?
So that means people that literally could be accused of crimes could be using faulty kits and getting accused of crimes when they're faulty kits and maybe not giving the accurate results.
No. Hopefully they
That's
can go
not good.
back and fix
That's
those
what I'm
things.
thinking. Are you kidding? Like, I would,
Yeah.
okay. Are you actually serious? Like, how? Okay, I'm glad they discovered it and it's not like years. They've been doing it for years. It's been for months, but still, like, people have been charged for crimes, I'm sure, based on this data.
That's
Oh,
all.
God. Well, anyway,
Okay, talk to me about
DNA, dude.
this next one. And how do I say their name? I know this is Pink Pony Girl person, right?
Oh, you're not looking at the right notes. I took
Oh.
that off. I took that off, but you brought it up. We're going to talk about it. Look in
Sorry.
the Zoom notes.
I know. I have this like big screen over here that's not in Zoom. Uh,
Um, so Chappell Roan, she was on Call Her Daddy. I'll go really quick over this, but basically she was it was actually really insightful. I really like her or him. No, she's a girl. She's her. She goes by her, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Do them? Okay. Um, but she basically said she quote made some amazing quote. She's like, I was always the giver. These country boys aren't gonna give you an orgasm, so don't go for country boys. And I know that there are people that are like, oh no, not mine. I have a country boy and he totally makes me like finish. Ha ha ha. Like, but that was her discovery. And then she said, just specifically in feminine relationships, that it's an understanding that you mutually give when it's a boy relationship. They're more concerned with if the girl didn't orgasm, they don't care. Normally it's because of the selfishness. And then it's like, wouldn't you want to do the same thing for them? And vice versa. Like, wouldn't you want to exchange? It's kind of like, share the favor, exchange the favor, whatever that saying is. Um, and yeah, she kind of just went on this whole tangent of kind of like when she was with guys before she's now with a girl, um, where like she would just always hear these complaints about how it's like, oh, my neck hurts. Oh, my jaw hurts, blah, blah, blah. She's like, you know what hurts? The second dick. She's like, my neck hurts, my back hurts, my arm hurts, my shoulder hurts. But it's just so funny because it's like, it's a good point, I feel like, because there is that case. I mean, I was lucky enough to like only have very minimal experiences like that where the guy really didn't give two shits. But I feel like a majority of them, they did care. Like they did want to make sure like the person was pleased on the other end of the shebang and they just didn't leave them like high and dry, literally. Um, but what is your thought process on like shouldn't women just like at this point in time in this day and age, shouldn't they just be more vocal about it? Like, yo, are you like,
You know,
hello?
I just listened to God, I don't know what podcast it was. I've been listening to a lot lately, but it was on, I think it might have been Goop, but they did like a sex talk, like a couple sex talk, and they had these one like part of the couple is like actually like studied it. But she was saying how like in media, what we see, like when we see a sexual scene, we see like this like connection between the eyes and like you just seemingly know like that you should think about like the notebook, like they take off their clothes like, or just
My
like
favorite is when they simultaneously finish at the exact same time. I'm like, that doesn't really happen. That's like one in
yeah.
100.
Like our perception of like how sex should happen is a lot of it is like based off of what we're seeing because we're not or your experiences, but like we're not taught that. And one of the things for sure, at least in my experience, is that I was not comfortable saying what I wanted. And so
And I
I,
feel
you
like that's how we all
know,
were earlier on.
yeah, especially as women, I think that we tend to want, like, we're thinking about everyone else except for ourselves. And we're like, this is taking too long.
Forever.
Oh my God, like, what is, what's going on in his, whatever. And so I don't know what her experience, if she's saying that, like, they didn't care. I can't speak for that, but I always felt like they did care, but I was too much in my head, and that didn't stop until later, until I felt more comfortable with my husband.
That actually is a good point because I feel like there is a difference. Like men are more visual and women are more like in your head. If something else is going on in your
Mhm.
life, 9 times out of 10, you'll probably not get there if you're thinking about something heavy, like something is like really kind of engulfing your brain at that moment, or like you're really going through something serious. If you can't not think about that, it will most
Mhm.
likely not, because women have to be in there kind of like in the moment, in their head with it,
Yeah,
or it's not going to happen. Whereas guys can just be like a visual, like
totally
of
visual.
titties all oiled up and like a
Danielle.
nice, like waxed up vagina in front of them, they'll be like, that's right. But jizz my pants. And I feel like women, we need to be in the moment. Like we want to feel it. We can't just jump right into it without like anything.
I gotta find this podcast. This episode was really good because they talked about that and like how hard it is when you're like in a relationship to kind of like initiate it, and that we don't like men can kind of like instantly get into it, where we need a little bit more
We
like,
more
are
need more
we,
revving up the engine.
yeah, like, are we in the mood for it? Like you're saying, like, are we stressed out? Like, are we thinking about everything else? But they were saying that like when you're in a committed relationship, that sex is super important, that you should like are you open to it? So I jokingly, they had a good funny question. It was like the husband asks his wife, are you open to getting turned on, is like how he starts it. So it's not like, hey, you're like, you want to go?
Hey girl, honka honka.
It was like a funny question. So I came home and I asked Charlie that, and he just gave me the funniest look.
Dude, okay, but your husband is also Charlie, so your Charlie is gonna give you a snarky remark back, probably being like,
Exactly. That's why I asked him,
"What?
because I thought it was such a funny question. Like, I'm like, I could never ask that. But also, if he asked me that, I would be like, what? That's
What?" Well, no, I'm saying
I work for that couple.
if it was him asking you that, you'd be like, "Are you an alien? Did you get possessed or something recently? Because this doesn't sound like you."
But it is a good question, because if
It
you're
is.
not, yeah, I mean, and maybe like people do their own variation of that
I would
conversation.
say a variation would have to be because I'm way too sarcastic. I would probably give a sarcastic ass response and like,
You open to it.
what, my butthole? No. Like that's what I
No.
would say back because I am who I am and I would be sarcastic. But no, like legitimately, I think every couple should have
Their
a
signal.
saying, a signal, a wink, something. If a candle's lit, like it means someone's lit on the inside of their loins. I don't know. That could be your thing. If you come home and Charlie has a candle lit, you know it's on.
That might actually be something that.
Because then you don't have to voice it and make it like
Oh
the
no, it's
risk of
already
him being
established.
sarcastic.
That is one of our things.
Oh, well, there
Yeah,
you go.
we have these
Oh, why
candles.
did I know that?
I don't know. That's weird.
I didn't know that. I just guessed it.
It's actually a great one. It's like a lighthouse. Like you're like, oh, I see the light. Oh, okay. Also instant like romance. We're like,
Ew,
oh,
I'm gonna walk into your house and there's gonna be a lighthouse on like a shelf and I'll be like, ew, was that it?
oh,
Is that your
stop.
is that a euphemism for something?
No, there's no lighthouses in the house, guys. Calm down.
No, I was saying the lighthouse in his pants.
Oh, ew.
I love how modest you are, girl. Come on. All right. Well, you know what? That's actually a good transition into what we
Yeah.
watched because there was definitely nothing modest about the brothers getting it on.
Wow. Just wow.
The
Do you
first
remember? Go
couple
ahead.
minutes.
Mhm.
No, I want to know, do I remember what?
Last episode, I was like trying to justify it in my head, the weird fucking kiss. And I was like, I think like, are they just gonna chalk it up for like, I didn't know they were gonna take it there from like last week. And I was thinking like maybe they'll just end it at that weird, awkward, horrible kiss, and we can just say like, ha ha ha, they were
Oh,
drunk.
I knew. I knew. I thought they were gonna freaking anal butt plug each other with their dicks.
Oh my
No,
God.
okay. So the first 5 minutes,
Mhm.
so much shit went down. First, the scene I didn't need to see just because of my personal reasonings. I didn't need to see the freaking multiple fake outs.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Thanks, guys. Yeah, thankfully it's not like what I had to deal with, but you know what? Go fuck yourselves, guys. I hate those fake out scenes. I hate them so much, especially when it has to do with like people unaliving themselves in fake outs. It's like, was that necessary? Was that
Hmm.
necessary? So I'm mad at them. The
Triggered.
second one, oh,
Hmm.
hardcore trigger. Second one, um, obviously the brothers, which actually let's just go into well, no, we'll do the 5 minutes first. So Leslie
Yeah.
Bibb obviously saw Valentin walking out of Jacqueline's room.
Oh yeah.
I'm glad. I'm glad it wasn't anything alluded to or anything. She blatantly, the light was coming up. She
Hmm.
saw him. So there was no confusion about, I think I saw, no, she saw him. So I'm glad she saw it. And it later they get, it gets called out. The fact that Patrick Schwarzenegger's face was the face that was made when he sat up from the edge of the bed and was just like, what the fuck kind of face? You're just like, Homeboy is about to have the worst blackout. Like, when don't you remember back in the day when you would black out? Because we talked about this on the last episode. In
Bubba
our
gumbo.
youth, when we were idiots and binge drinkers, at parties and stuff, and just God, whatever concoctions we can get because we were all broke as fuck back then. And you blacked out, and then it would come to the next day, like in spurts. Like you'd literally be like, wait, did that actually really happen? And you'd have to take a minute. I'm glad they actually did it throughout this episode where it
Hmm.
was like, oh, well, okay. So I was jacking up. I still think it's disgusting, but I was jacking off while my brother was sitting like next to me pounding this chick that obviously pounded me first. So you shared a cavern, if you will, guys. Um,
Yeah. Taking it to the next level, Danielle.
but then we come to find, oh no, 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 honey, baby, sweetie. No, you weren't jacking off yourself. Your brother was jacking you off. And
So
and her
disturbing.
face, oh my God. Oh my God. The girl's face, I thought I had it written down when she was just like, you couldn't I couldn't take whatever drugs, whatever for me to do that to my brother. I just loved her reaction. Oh, the girl with the teeth. Oh my God, I loved her commentary during that scene when they were sitting on the fold out
Yeah.
chairs when he was like, no, it was just like funny. It was funny that we made out. And she's like, what's funny about that? It was a joke. What was the joke? And then he's
Yeah.
like, well, you had a threesome. And she's like, I didn't. I was like, she goes,
Mm.
yeah, you did. Um, but that alone, I just like, how can you even come back from that? Like, I feel like we're meant to think one of the brothers is the one that's in the water in the first scene, right?
I don't know, maybe.
What do you think?
I
Because I'm
haven't.
thinking he can't deal with the truth, so he either unalives himself or the brother poisons him.
Whoa. Poison
Because
is
don't
the
you
woman.
remember? And I sent you a reel recently, but it's in the first opening scene. He's Patrick Schwarzenegger's character. After the really pretty girl that is like works at the place, she has really pretty eyes and she's wearing a braid. She's like, "Oh, don't touch those fruits, they're poisonous." And they keep
Mhm.
freaking showing him blending up smoothies the whole time.
Oh,
I don't know if like
I
the
forgot
little
about that.
brother is gonna put the poisoned fruit in the smoothie or that's how he's gonna unalive himself. I don't know.
I feel
What do
like
you
it's,
think?
I don't know, like mentally, that would just be like way worse. To me, I would be like, okay, one of us is staying in Thailand and the other one is going somewhere else. Like, we're never gonna talk again. Sorry.
The Christmas is gonna be real awkward.
We're not doing Christmas. Like, one of us is like gone. So let's
No, that
draw.
wouldn't happen because then of course the mom would be like, well, why doesn't he just come out
No,
home
because
for Christmas?
I couldn't like if I was in that, oh, I'm not even gonna go there. But
I know
anyway,
I don't have siblings, so I can say
I'm
all the things I want to say all day long and it doesn't
I'm just
affect me.
thinking like you would like why would you want to kill your sibling? I don't think either of them like it seemed like they both had a freak out because like what's his name? Who's the younger one? Lachlan?
Lachlan? Yeah.
Lachlan like realizes what happened and he also has like a face where he's like, oh shit.
Well, go watch
Right?
that scene back.
I feel like like
He doesn't
disturbed.
have a freak out face. His eyes just open when he realizes, oh, that actually did happen and it wasn't a fantasy. He had
Mm.
his eyes open where he was like, hmm, kind of more of like
Clearly. The
Huh.
older brother is for sure more disturbed as he barked, which
Oh
was the
God, yeah.
appropriate response for that. Yes, you
Yes.
are. That is horrendous. It took it to like this other place where I was like, oh shit, I didn't think they were really going to show that. Oh shit, they showed it even more. Oh my God, here we go. Like it just
Oh, and
was
it wasn't even like a little blip of like the jack
no.
off scene. No, it was a full on like I want to say it was like a six pump jack
You,
off scene. Like
did you
that
count?
was no. No, but I'm just saying I literally was like, "Oh my God, it's still going." Like
Yeah,
I
they
know they're actors, but we're supposed to made to believe they're brothers.
hmm.
And this character development in the show is supreme because we are so grossed out that we're thinking these brothers are doing something when guess what? They aren't actually brothers in real life. So they could technically do it if they wanted to. But oh my God.
Yeah.
Literally, I was just like, oh no. And the fact is, did you see that they were wearing each other's board shorts
I didn't
so that
know that.
they picked each other's board shorts up. So they switched because that's not what they were wearing the last episode.
If I was, and I was thinking about this, if I was that girl who they're
That
having
banged both of them.
yeah, like why would like I guess I'm just a good person who doesn't normally find
Well,
myself in a threesome of two brothers. Oh my God. But
no, I
like
would never. Oh my God, I
why
could never.
would you be
I can
okay
never.
watching that? Like that, she's messed up. They're all messed
No,
up. Everyone needs
that
therapy.
exactly. No, well, aren't we supposed to also made to believe that she also is this is like not her first orgy situation? Because I could
Yeah.
have sworn they alluded to her saying something about an orgy before. Maybe I'm like
Yeah,
imagining that.
she's obviously this is not her first rodeo.
Well, she's a sex worker, or that's how she met
Yeah,
Gary
probably.
Gregg.
Hmm.
Well, speaking of Gary Gregg, he does kind of like that threat to Belinda and was like, I'm right up the hill. No, I'm right up the hill. My door's always open. We need to chat. So next episode is when they chat.
We don't need to chat about anything. You need to get the out of my face. Are you kidding me? Yeah.
Well, and
There's
it's like, God, there's so many things that came out. Like there's all those people that are like really good about doing those deep dives and stuff into what this could mean, what that could potentially mean. And God, I wish I had all of them pulled up like simultaneously, but one of them was like, and I'm just like, I think I posted these two, but silence. Don't want you to think that your audio is out. Doot doot. Oh, another fun factaroo is the brother.
hmm.
Oh, you can't see it, but the brother, the little brother, and that's Larry David. The brother, the younger one, Piper is his mom in the show. His actual mom was in Scream 3.
No, not Piper was his mom in the
No,
show.
no, Piper was his mom in the show White Lotus.
Okay.
His actual mother in real life was in the movie Scream 3 with Piper's, the one who plays Piper, or not Piper, not Piper. What's her name?
Tsunami.
Yeah, her.
Mhm.
So they were in a movie together. How cute is that?
Yeah.
Before she had her son. So
Oh.
they were in a movie together and now she's in a movie and that's her co-star's son in the movie, but it's really her son. So cute. Anyway, side note, it's complete. I'll find those things, but yeah, somebody
You
had
must have
talked
been on
about
like IMDb as you were watching. Were you
no,
like,
somebody posted it and I was like, he looks just
oh.
like his mother. Um, but no, what was I'll find it later and I'm sure it'll come to me like right after we stop this episode. But let me tell you, all these little like Easter eggs that we don't catch when we're watching it, people have them online and you need to pay attention to them because a lot of them are crazy. Because someone talked about how Greg slash Gary, they keep referencing that he's up the hill. He's not
Mhm.
part of the resort, but they're
No.
always there
Yeah. They didn't really show, they showed his house once. Did you see
once. Yeah.
that? Yeah.
One time.
And it does look like he's like up a hill, but
And they're
hmm.
going to be there next week because that's where they
Oh,
go.
that's the party.
The party or
Okay,
whatever.
that part of the plot, I'm like, really? You're gonna go to that party? Like all of them. Like
Why
each
would, okay,
why?
Patrick Schwarzenegger's character, for some reason I
Hmm.
cannot remember his actual character's name. Why would he go to the party of the girl he banged that also banged his brother?
Yeah, why would you want to
Why?
go? Yeah. Who else though? Like the girl herself, like she's an idiot. Like the
Oh, she's like, oh, he doesn't really care. I don't think he was like that mad. Like just sitting on the
about
like
her
fold
an
out
idiot.
chair.
Who else? There was someone else that was like the dad of the
All of them.
family. Huh?
Lucius Malfoy.
Yeah, like him wanting to go. I'm like, what? Why would you want to go?
Exactly. So he's dealing with all the FBI shit and all this stuff. It's like, why would you want to go there? Like, unless it has to do with something in regard, like, because there's no way he's going to get out of that unless he literally unalives himself. Where would it make sense? Like, is he going to have a solution to your issue? I don't think so, bro. Like, I don't think it just makes, yeah, like you said, it makes no sense as to why he would want to go.
Yeah, I was like, okay, so that was my, you know how you have the issue about like them not catching him in Thailand at first? Like I have the issue with like why are we going to this party, people? Don't we know better? It kind of feels like a watching a thriller or scary movie and you're like,
And
don't
they're
go in
going into the
there.
basement. They're going into the basement with no windows. They have no way of
Hmm.
getting out.
Yeah, exactly. Um,
Um,
what about the girls by the pool?
yes. Oh my God, I love. Okay, so this is actually a good conversation because I wanted to ask you this too. What was her name? Connie? No, Carrie. Her name is Carrie. The blonde girl with the short hair with the orange shirt. That was the one that we thought was a little embarrassing with the guys, and she keeps getting the guy pawned off on her, but Valentin
Yeah.
actually ended up going to bang the other girl. So she has, at the end of every episode, they do this like little behind the scenes little snippet after you see like the previews to the next episode.
Mhm.
Did you not know that?
I do, but I don't watch it.
Oh my God, you need to watch that. The siblings were on this last episode at the
Oh,
end and they
okay.
talked about it. Yeah.
Mm.
So they actually talk their full reactions, what certain things mean and stuff in it. They actually do talk about like what happened in the last episode. So anyway, Carrie with the blonde short hair, not Leslie Bibb, but the other one. I swear they
Mhm.
all have blonde hair. Um, she makes a good point. So she just calls her out straight up because after
Yeah.
Leslie Bibb's character lets her know about what she saw about Valentine walking out, and she was like giving Valentine the cold shoulder when he came over earlier
Mhm.
on the episode by the pool, she straight up called her out and was like, "You're the same as you were in 10th grade. You were pawning him
Mhm.
off on me the whole time, but then you went after him after." And then she goes, it's her saying a variation of where we always have the same part of us from our youth carrying into our adulthood. And we're just, and her on the after show, she goes, we're really just pretending to be adults because there's still
Yeah.
part of us in there from our youth that we want to be able to be, but we can't because we know we have to be adult.
It made me think about like how they've outgrown this relationship, like how you outgrow friendships. You know, you either like
Mhm.
grow with your friends, like me and you,
Yes.
or you like the relationship is just, it's stagnant. It's the same thing. It's the same bullshit. You're on the
It was a
same merry-go-round.
chapter,
Yeah.
but it's not part of this full story. Yeah.
Well, and you can't evolve in those relationships outside of that dynamic because you're just on this like constant roller coaster. So like someone has to break the cycle, which like good for is it Carrie Coon? Like her
Thank you.
character.
Yeah.
Like she goes and she's like the one who's gonna say like be real. And that's kind of like what we were talking about, like when this first started and you're watching them, they're like super fake with each other. And you're like, there's
The
something
infamous Leslie
here.
Bibb scene where it's like,
Yeah. Yeah. It's like call a bitch out. Like if that's, what you need to do, like that's
that's
what you
my
get.
motto.
Yeah. Call a bitch
I'm like,
out.
we have so much less time on the planet that we originally thought we had. We thought we were
Yeah.
invincible when we were young. I feel like they're at that age where it's like, I like Carrie Coon's character for the fact she
And
did not bullshit. She did not hide it. She did not just talk shit behind her back to Leslie Bibb's character. She
yeah.
legit was like, what the fuck, girl? Oh, you
Yeah.
have an open, she even called her, she's like, oh, you have an open relationship. She goes, no. And she goes, oh, well, what happens in Thailand stays in Thailand, just like you said, right? Like she called her out, and I love that about her. Like, yes, her drunk self is embarrassing, but or don't we
Mhm.
all have those moments? But it's just I'm so glad she did call her out. But I do feel like it is a case of maybe these three. aren't meant to be long-term friends.
No, they're done. They're done. Unless they get really honest. They need to go on a Sonoma retreat.
There you go. Trust falls, and then all of them can end up dead in the freaking pool. Speaking of, do you think, okay, going back to who do you think actually ends up dead? Do you have a suspicion yet? We only have 2 episodes left.
No, I don't want to guess. I don't know.
You
I
don't?
did say
Do you think it's a guy or a girl?
probably a guy.
I'm thinking guy too.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Like I can't even like guess. Is everyone guessing? Should I start guessing? Is it time?
Well, so people are thinking it's one of the brothers.
I'm hoping it's Gary or Greg. Gary Greg.
Oh my God, I wish. Like the validation for
That would be easy.
Tanya.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I feel like Homeboy is gonna be in the next season too.
You think he is? I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I feel like he's just gonna weasel his way in. Oh my God, we didn't even talk about Walter Goggins and Sam Rockwell. He's gonna remember they finally arrived at the owner of White Lotus's house,
Mhm.
and uh-oh, I'm getting an alert. There's
Uh-oh.
movement. Oh no, there's not. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it up. Um, and what the hell is moving in my kid's room?
Can we actually pause for a second? Sorry. Yeah.
So, so I think they're definitely gonna have. Obviously, we saw in the trailer Walter Goggins' character. What the hell is his name? They're going to have a moment clearly because he has the gun pulled out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, do you think he actually does anything? That's not the dead body, right? Because this is only the second to last episode. It's not the last episode. Oh my God, I'm gonna be so
No.
disappointed if this is the dead body.
There's like so much like character development in his like with his character. Like you started off and he looks like he's just a grumpy, cold, callous old man, right? And now you're seeing
Yeah.
like the softer, like, oh, he cares. I think he cares about her. Like there's someone in there. So it would be weird for him to make that choice, I feel like at this
And then have
point.
to go to prison and then
Yeah.
leave her behind.
No. Yeah.
Thailand prison, of all things. Have you seen Broke Down Palace?
Yes.
That movie haunted me for life. I was convinced I will never go to the airport and ever allow anybody to woo me into holding any bag of theirs. No way. That's how I
No.
go to prison.
Oh,
Um, well, I think that's pretty much all of the characters. We
yeah.
did pretty good. I mean, obviously Gatok got his gun back, thank God. So what
I
are they
know.
gonna
That
do
was
with
a win.
that? So thankfully all of the hopefully the fake outs aren't gonna
Yeah.
happen next week.
Hmm.
Or I'm gonna write Mike White. Um, okay, so now to end on a kind of more of an intense, more serious note.
Hmm.
I feel like every single person, except you haven't watched it yet, you're going to though. It's only
No.
4 episodes though.
Wow. Okay.
They do a lot. Okay, so you clearly heard because I said it too in the
I
first
know
episode
the
I watched.
concept. One continuous
One
shot.
take, every single one. Well,
First
what's
time he was an
crazy?
actor.
Yes. So, well, crazy thing is, the first episode only took, they did it in on the second take, but the fourth episode, it was so intense, it took them 14 takes
Mhm.
to do
Still not.
it. And I'm talking the one scene where obviously, like, the 13-year-old is over the table yelling at the person in the prison. That is going to get him an award. I'm
Mm,
telling you right now. But the stuff he was saying during that episode, I think that was episode 2. It is so intense and so clear that we need to protect our children, especially being mothers of boys in this day and age with the access to the internet, the access to all the videos that there are out there in YouTube land and the movies and the violence and all the things that they could be bearing witness to. It is so sad just to see that because one of the quotes that the dad said was like, he was in the next room. We thought because he was in the next room, he was safe. He
hmm.
wasn't. He was not safe because when he was with the woman on at the table, he literally talks about the 13-year-old girl he murders as if she was property and not a person because of all the things he's seen in YouTube and all of the internet culture of, women are just objects, men are like the number one species, or not the species, number one gender in the world, and women are just ours for the taking, like the things that he was watching and taking for so long without his parents realizing messed his brain chemistry up so bad that he thought that that was okay because she laughed at him when he was trying to make an advance to her, and then he killed her because she laughed at him. It's one of those things that I saw a quote that was like, women are scared, or men are scared of being emasculated by a woman. Women are scared of being killed by a man for making him feel less than.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a huge difference. Like, all you're going to do is get your feelings hurt when a woman is literally scared for her life. If she fights back, if she says anything back, if she doesn't take an advance that is being given by a guy, or if, like this or that. These are the fears that women have. And it's so sad because, like, this was a 13-year-old boy. And I actually saw that it is based on a true story, too. There's like, where one of like the real people that used as an example, he was like a big fan of the guy who is now being the Tate brothers, Andrew Tate. He has all of those misogyny videos of
Is
like
that him? I was going
gender.
to ask you. Okay, so that's one of the Tate brothers. He's the one who
Mhm.
said, so when all this stuff was coming out, just, looking at all the different posts and stuff, I saw something about him and what he was saying, and that women are just vessels, waiting to be programmed by men, and that
Mhm.
we don't have our own thoughts, and that you should walk around your house with a sword on, essentially. Like, it's, yeah, just that whole framework of misogynist thinking. um yeah, I think my immediate reaction was like, no. I do
Well,
have an human brain, and
Well,
no.
and we both do, and we both
Yeah.
have, thankfully, we know who we are and we know what we expect from the world. But unfortunately, there is a complete different generation that we're raising, not
Yeah.
just our generation, the generation before them, but
Mhm.
there's generations that have such access to all these stupid idiots' opinions on social media,
Yeah.
on YouTube, on all of these outlets on TikTok, where they think, oh, well, they're telling me the truth. This
Mhm.
must be true if they hear it over and over and over again. So it is just so important as a boy mom in general. Like I just constantly see these quotes where it's like, we need to raise men who know that women are of value and they are equals and they are
Mhm.
not property. We need to learn, like, and I'm constantly instilling, you need to respect what your brother says, you need to respect what I say, like, on and either of them.
Mhm.
It's you need to raise them to know like we are not here for your whatever you want the fuck from us.
Mhm.
And it's just so sad because this was a 13-year-old child killing another 13-year-old child because she laughed at him and made him feel less than.
Yeah.
You don't kill somebody because they make you feel less than.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And it's one of those things too that kind of plays into it. And I'm going to be really transparent here, as much like anonymity, I guess, as I can make it. But I know for a fact if I stayed in the relationship I was in, I would have raised children thinking that it was okay to talk to women the way that talk down to women the way that they need to. It was okay to disrespect women. It was okay to make them feel less than. It was okay to talk down to them. It was okay to make them feel like shit. That's okay because guess what? Daddy does it too. So I can tell you right now, it is our duty to raise our children to respect their partners, whether it's a man, a woman, who fucking cares. It is our duty to raise our boys. And, also, I mean, I feel like this is really focused on the boys thing of it all, but it's like it is really our duty to raise our children just to respect others, to respect each other and realize like not one person is better than the other. That's the
Hmm.
thing. It's when you get into that gray area of like, well, men are the king gender and women are just subservient and they need to be submissive to us. Like when you get into that mindset, you're raising another person who thinks that way. So if you are honestly in a relationship right now where there's children present and they're witnessing people talking down to, like the man is talking down to the woman, the man is they don't even need to be violent. I hate to tell you, because honestly, verbal and emotional abuse and mental abuse and all the things that you can't, show scars for, you can't show bruises for, that in itself is has a lasting effect on people and on generations and households that they put that into their next households and so on and so forth. It's a never-ending cycle. So I'm thankful I broke the cycle, but I'm just gonna let people know out there, like honestly, if you're listening right now, like you need to raise the generation that is, we're in right now of the raising the generation below us of this is acceptable and this is not acceptable. This
Hmm.
is right. This is wrong.
Hmm.
This is good. This is bad. There needs to be a distinct line in the sand of good and bad, not no gray area anymore, guys, because
Not
that's
when
when
it
you
comes
get
to other
another
people's blood.
generation.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's the respect. It's the respect of each other that we're all human here and we all deserve to be treated as equals, like you said. And thank you, Danielle, for sharing. I know because we're friends, but I know that's like super brave and making me tear up. And, I have my own history of, abuse and family abuse, and watching that transpire in the cycle and how it's really hard to end it. And I feel the same as far as like raising my boys and want them to be kind humans, good humans. That's like if the tagline of my goal is like raising good humans who care about other people, not other men, not other rich men or, it's everyone,
Men of
everyone.
power or people who can better themselves or
Yeah.
do something for them. No,
Yeah.
everybody. Like,
Everybody.
don't ignore people because they're on this, like, it's just as if it's comparing someone to, would you ignore this person if they were lying on the floor? Oh, well, I don't
Hmm.
want to get in, I don't want to get involved, or oh, I don't know them, so they don't really matter to me. Oh, they're just a random homeless person. Like if it's a homeless person, they're just a homeless person. It doesn't matter. It should matter. Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. And these are humans. Everyone deserves an opportunity to have a good life. And
Yeah.
there's so much, we're just talking about this tonight, like, and I kind of try to talk to my 2-year-olds as much as I can about how, like, in this house, this should be your safe space. This should be the haven and out because out there is so bad, especially right now, that like we have to be kind to each other. It starts in your home, but really, if we're like kind in here, we should be learning to be kind outside of these walls.
And I've heard that quote, kindness grows within the walls of your home. So it's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
kindness, respect,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a matter of just even using the word. I use the word all the time in my house. Thankfully, like I said, I'm doing it all for my children. Like I'm making sure they're in a home that they feel safe in. They don't need to feel nervous in. They don't need to feel scared in, that they have the safety in their home. And if they are having a bad day, that they're not scared that their reaction is going to make them in trouble.
Yeah.
And even when I was visiting a friend recently in Portland, they're at that age where they do stuff and they don't even think about it first and they just do it. So I was at my friend's house and my older one, he's 4 and he was playing with a plant, but he pulled it out of the pot and there was dirt all over the floor. And I was like, oh, what happened there? And he thought he immediately, I think, was going into the thing of like, I'm going to be in trouble. And I'm like, if you tell me the truth, you're not going to be in trouble. You just can't lie. I was like, so don't lie, just tell me the truth. And he took a minute and then he was like, I was touching it and I pulled it out. And I was like, okay, well, we'll clean it up. And then
Mm-hmm.
we literally cleaned it up together and we moved on from the thing.
Yeah.
And later, my friend even pointed out, she goes, the fact that you're teaching him, you just need to tell me the truth and you're not going to be in trouble, is going to go a long way for when he's older because he's not going to do bigger things to try to
Mhm.
hide and conceal. It'll be like
Yeah.
maybe like little tiny white lies here and there or whatever that he thinks he can get away with that build up into bigger lies that he can get away with that build up into really big lies that he can get away with.
Right.
But the fact that you're instilling, you just need to tell me the truth. I do that all the time. Like respect if you're hurting, your brother like because of he wants this and he's mad and you want to like hurt him because he's taking your Play-Doh, you need to respect the fact that he doesn't want you to take that at the moment. So you need to keep it back to him. And it's like I have to talk to my 2-year-old that way and I have to talk to my 4-year-old that way. Same
Hmm.
thing like with the lying. Don't lie, tell the truth, and you won't get in trouble. When you lie, it's when you get in trouble and things are taken away from you. So
Hmm.
it's like we need to just instill that in our children. And it's so hard because I feel like when you have a household, when there's two completely different people raising the same child,
Hmm.
is when you get into that really scary area of this person thinks it's acceptable and this person is terrified
Doesn't.
that that person thinks that it's acceptable.
Ah.
And the
Hmm.
kid is gonna probably, which one are they gonna go for? The one that is more of the overpowering personality or the one that's a little bit more meek and
Hmm.
timid?
Are these conversations you're gonna like have like that on with the boys?
As they get older, I've already had kind of in like brainstorming conversations, and I'm sure I'll have one with you too next time I visit you too, and we get, a bottle into a conversation that's not online. Um,
Hmm.
I definitely think there's going to be conversations that need to be had, especially just like in terms of just our family is not the normal. Even granted, right nowadays, everyone's comes from like a broken home. Like it's not even like that anymore. It's like everyone doesn't like it's very rare that the parents are together. So you're raising your child in a rarity.
I was thinking like in terms of like having these like tough conversations about what's acceptable and not acceptable in
Mhm.
society and like with women and in like tonight that's good to see like you're saying yes. I am too. I'm gonna like a dead on conversation of like when they're older, not too old,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, go no, no.
Like
Don't want to wait too long for where
understand.
it's too
Yeah,
late. Yeah.
but like hey, this is how we treat other people. This is how we treat women. But even tonight we were reading a book about sharks that they really love, and at the end, I've always glossed over this part, but it's like sharks need your help too to keep the oceans clean. And like the first picture is like it's all this like trash in the ocean, and the second picture is like to keep it health and safety. So I was telling them like it was like a lesson like for bedtime, and I was like you like they love right now the phrase, can you help me with? So I said, can you help the sharks with like picking up the trash? This is why we pick up the trash. And so William was mimicking me and he's like, trash, we pick up trash. And he's like repeating me. And I was like, okay, so this is good. Like you are getting that mom is telling you some lesson, whether like you're somewhere in your brain, you might be getting 25% of maybe even 15% of this, but yeah,
Well,
it
and
was.
I thankfully Forrest is 4.5 and Wyatt's he's 2.5, but Forrest has always been like, I want to help. I want to
Mhm.
do what you're doing. Let me help you. I want to do it. Me. Like I let him. And I
Mhm.
see this quote a lot, and I think it's really good to like think about too is yes, it could slow you down, but maybe we're meant to slow down a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I love
And
that.
I, every time we go to the trash together, every time I'm emptying the dishwasher, he wants to help. Every time I'm putting something, the groceries, he gets mad if I put the groceries away, if he didn't even realize the groceries arrived, because I sometimes get them delivered. And he'll be like, oh man. And he looks around in their empty bags and he's like, oh.
Missed
And but the
it.
thing is, like, I allow, like, when he is like in the room and he sees the groceries, he brings them all in. And
Cute.
he just like all these little things. It's like you need to teach your kids not only like the respect and like the emotional side of things too, but also the actions. Just like the quote that I saw too of that I was just said earlier. We need to kind of put a understanding that this is not a woman's task. This is not a man's task. We can do both things, guys. We're capable. We're firmly capable. And that's actually one of the things in my last relationship that he kind of hated too, was I was very self-sufficient.
Mhm.
But I'm also an only child and I was also a latchkey kid, so I was kind of have to be self-sufficient in a way. Like if I needed to like hang something on a wall, I'm not gonna wait. I'm just gonna do it. I have a level. I have a nail. I can
Yeah.
figure it out.
Hmm.
Like, I don't need like, oh, I don't know how to use a hammer, sir. Can you help me? Like, I'm not like that. I will never be like that, and that will never be me, or I'm not gonna instill that in my child. But it's
It's
like,
not me either, girl. It's not me.
oh my God, I'm literally
Except
like,
for
it,
the drill. I don't, I did it. You saw
give
me. I
me,
was
oh,
drilling the floor.
give me a drill. I will drill the hell out of something. I mean, granted, I have to do it all anyway, but
Drilled the nail through the door. Patch was like, I'm done with the drill.
okay, then
Like, give
maybe
me a
you
hammer,
shouldn't.
I'll do
Then
it.
maybe you shouldn't do the drill. But it's just like that. I think like the blanket statement is we are not like there are not male tasks, there are not female tasks, and they're not things that women should or like men should respect and then not respect. I
Mhm.
think is we need to help each other. We're all humans. We need to help each other in ways of either emotional or physical. So, helping bring a bag in, helping if they need to lend a hand, anything like that. But I think in general, we just need to all be good to each other and it's raise our children in homes where it's like there's more peace than there is friction because all you're doing if you're raising a child in a home where they're just hearing one person yelling at another, you're raising children to have anxiety. Hate to tell you. And then you're raising them to think that's appropriate.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Cheers to that. That they don't do that. We don't do that.
Cheers to that. So highly recommend watching Adolescence, especially if you are a parent. Um, it's hard. The last episode is really dark
Mm.
because you do kind of just realize like you're not allowing your lack of action, your lack of
Mhm.
awareness, your lack of knowing what your children's watching is leading you to not be able to even witness your children's childhood because they're in prison.
Oh my
So you
God.
kind of also realize that like their childhood's gone. Their
Mhm.
childhood is absolutely gone because of your just lackness, I guess, if you will. But just keep an eye, like don't be obviously a hover, but I mean just be aware. Like I
Mhm.
don't think that is a bad thing to have going through the library, see what they're watching.
Yeah.
Especially like now, yeah, I have control of the remote, but like there's gonna be a day where I don't, and I'm gonna need to like know what they're watching.
I don't think YouTube is necessary.
No.
No, and I don't think Instagram is necessary
No.
for kids. I mean, even for myself, I was also just talking about this, about just our project, doing this podcast and how what initiated that of not wanting to just doing the norm, you're in the routine and then you get home and you just stare at your phone all day. And it doesn't support us in like our mental health. It doesn't support us in our physical health.
Unless you're actually doing a crossword puzzle,
Yeah.
doing some brain homework, reading an article, unless you're doing that, but if you're doom scrolling, you're not really
Yeah.
doing.
It's not
Come on,
helping.
guys.
And just like needing to unplug from that. And it goes back even to the political piece of, I said it before, like posting, yes, we can post, we do it, right? We post like an article because we want that awareness out there. But what's next? Like, what's the next step? Or how do I, okay, it's cool, you watched a video on like how to cook. Okay, now go cook that recipe. Like, go out. That's what
Yeah,
all this information at our fingertip is for. It's like to put it into play.
absolutely. And I do think maybe we should do awareness kind of thing, like where we go and take our boys and go on like a weekend away and we literally just only use our phone for pictures and videos to like take
Yeah.
of our children
Yeah. Yeah.
and
And they
just
can see
that's
that
it.
positive, like they can see it, like we're proof in the pudding. I love
Well,
that.
and also, yeah, I'm very much, I've seen that too. It's like be mindful of when they enter the room, you put your phone down.
Mhm.
Even if, yeah, because all of us are guilty. We want to scroll. We want to look to see what's going on. We want to see those recipes. We want to see those funny videos, those cat videos, those funny joke videos. I know I like to look at things that are like sarcastic, jokey, like stand-up videos. So I love watching those. But when my kids enter the room, I am trying to be mindful of putting my phone down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just those little steps I think will help in the long run. But yeah, I think being aware of what your kid is ingesting, whether it be food, whether it be media, whether it be the people around them, what are they actually ingesting? Like what are they absorbing around them? And like kind of just saying, is that okay?
And having those conversations,
Yeah.
being really like what you're doing of having like this like openness to you're starting so young, and I'm trying to do that too with them there too, and like they're learning how to talk and understand, but like just being open and the just like in any good relationship, there's this like level of just like non-judgment. You can say anything, around each
Well, and
other.
that's why I've also always said just I'm because especially just because but my kids will always have like doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, and they're gonna have monthly therapy appointments because I will always have a third party person that they can speak to when they get to a certain age where they're not gonna want to come
Hmm.
to mom and tell me all of their, things that are in their brain, but they want to go to someone that's not gonna have any judgmental face or anything. Like, granted, my face is pretty good about I'm a liar because no, it's not. Um, my face talks. My mouth doesn't very much, but my face talks when I'm letting someone talk. So it is what it is. But I think just that if you're not able to have those conversations with your kid, or if you think it's maybe a little bit more than something you can take on, get a third party in there. Like it could be a routine thing. Just again,
Hmm.
doctor, dentist, therapist. It's not that big a deal. Like I feel like nowadays it's just such a great thing that in our generation, it's not such a bad thing. The person's going to a therapist. Like, oh my God. It's not like a
I
hot
think
button thing anymore.
getting them in there earlier is going to make it that
Hmm.
you don't have someone who is 40 years old, has lived a life. Listen, we all live lives, and and then is refusing to go to therapy. Doing it early would be great. Yeah, I know. And on that note,
We cue the music. All right.
we
Well,
need music.
th thank you guys for another week. I really appreciate you guys listening, watching, whatever avenue you like to listen to us. But we're going to keep it going every week. And like I said before, you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and watch us on YouTube.
Mhm.
So feel free to also leave us a comment, subscribe, like, thumbs up, all the things, because we do appreciate that.
And one last thing, Danielle showed me our demographics.
Oh, yeah.
And surprisingly, we have a lot more males out there. So thank you for listening and hanging out with
Yeah.
us. We'll try not to make it, I mean, it's going to be girly. Maybe that's what you like, but
Well, and
like,
also shout out to our Canadian listeners, because there's we have a small group of Canadians that listen.
we love you, Canada.
We
We're
love you,
not
and
all the
you're
same.
no, and you're probably laughing hysterically at all the things that are happening in America. You're so lucky. You're
Same.
so lucky. Thank you guys. Bye.